Non-Stop Kids Entertainment on NSK TV. And today I have been joined by a very, very talented magician, Mr. Rich Unsworth. Rich, thanks very much for coming online and spending some time with me. I really appreciate it, mate.
No problem. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you. Now, you've been with, just to give people context who haven't seen you before, you've been with Non-Stop Kids a long time, haven't you? How long have you been with us now?
Ooh, I was trying to think the other day. I think it is sort of 5-6 years. I think it is.
Must be about 5 or 6 years. And
yeah.
you've been, as well as working with Non-Stop Kids, you also work with Slightly Unusual, our sister company. You do a lot of, you're a very talented close-up magician as well as being a kids entertainer. Your close-up magic is like second to none.
Thank you very much.
I wanted to talk to you about how you got involved in magic. Like, I've known you a long time, but when did you get interested in magic? And have you been interested in performing your whole life? Tell us a little bit about how all that came about.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody at my sort of age, loved watching Paul Daniels, Wayne Dobson, all them on TV. Got magic sets as a kid. Always liked doing it. Always liked to try and work out the tricks, performing stuff like that. And then, like I say, when I got a bit older, loved performing for fans and like friends and family, and just thought, yeah, this is going to be a cool job, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So how old were you when you first started learning magic?
I would say around about sort of learning from like the magic boxes, sort of 8 or 9, and then really sort of got serious into it when I was sort of 13, 14, sort of trying to read books and learn stuff like that. And then sort of professionally sort of in my sort of late 20s really decided I wanted to make a career out of it, really.
So that's quite a big time period. So if you started kind of doing it a little bit at the age of 8, and it was late 20s when you started doing it professionally, that's like, almost 20 years. That's a long time to learn to get really good at magic. What made you decide to go professional? And the reason I ask that is because there's a lot of people that watch this that would love to be a professional magician and they'd love to be a professional entertainer, and they've not taken that leap. What was it that made you decide, you know what, I'm gonna do this as a job?
I think it is the passion, really. Now, a lot of people maybe watch this and think, oh, I'd love to do that. Oh, it'd be the best job in the world. And it is the best job in the world. I always say I have a laugh with my wife and everything. She says, one day you will get a real job. And, and it is not yes, I get paid and I get paid very well. But it's the enjoyment out of it, traveling around the country, seeing different people. And like you said earlier, I do the Non-Stop Kids Entertainment where we're predominantly doing kids parties, and I do, Slightly Unusual where we do close-up, we do weddings, do cabaret shows, and it's the varied job. So one day I've got a kids show, next day I may be doing a wedding or maybe doing a holiday park. And it is, and it's not, and I always say it's not a job, it's an adventure. So I love it. But on the other flip side, it is when I do sort of school workshops and everybody, and I think we sort of are in a thing where everybody wants to be famous or wants to do something, and I just say, well, anything, it is about practice, determination, and I've had a lot of, knockbacks, and you just keep getting up and you go forward, and it is a great job, but it is very, very interesting, like I say, but it's very hard work as well.
And on that subject, is there any other than I love that advice of keep going, be determined. If there's somebody watching this that would like to be a professional entertainer, whether it's a kids entertainer or a performer or a magician, is there any advice you could give them based on your years of experience?
Yeah, like I say, keep follow your dreams, and don't let people turn around and say you can't do it, but also only do something what you could do, in a sense. So don't sort of think, right, well, I'm going to by this time next year I'm going to be on the telly, I'm going to be all this. Set goals that that can be achievable. So, you know, if you want to be a full-time professional magician and that's all you ever want to do, like throughout your whole life, brilliant. But obviously, nobody just wakes up and says, right, that's it, I'm going to do this full-time. Brilliant. You know, you might have, there's a lot of people out there who might have a full-time job but just do this at weekends. And, you know, but just start small, do some, you know, do magic for family and friends, get advice off people, and maybe contact, if you're really interested in the, like the children's entertainment, why don't you join a company like Non-Stop Kids?
Absolutely, absolutely. So what do you prefer doing? Kids entertainment? Do you prefer doing, you talked about holiday parks and stage shows, you talked about close-up. What type of performance out of everything that you do is your favorite? If I had to say to you right now, you can't do anything other than this particular subsection of what you do, what would it be? What's your favorite?
If you gave me a choice of one thing for the rest of my, I would pick a holiday park. Although I do like everything I do, when I first started out, I thought, I'd never do a kid show. No, they're too honest, you know, or they're too scary and whatever. But then I love all the aspects of the entertainment. So I love like the children's side, where doing children's magic shows, doing the games, doing the party games, and the dancing and making the balloons. But then I also like, you know, the close up. And but I think going back to what you said, the sort of stage shows or the holiday parks, it's such a buzz to walk out in front of maybe 300, 350, 400, 500 people and do your 45-minute set or whatever you're doing. It's amazing.
That's really cool. And do you still, you know, there's going to be a lot of people watching this that find the whole concept of magic fascinating. Do you still kind of put new tricks into your act? Are you always looking for new magic tricks, or do you just kind of stick to what you do now?
I sort of, I do like putting new tricks into my act, but it doesn't go in willy-nilly. So it'll be, I might have, it's like with my children's show, I might have 3 or 4 different children's shows, and I'll chop and change them. And the same with my close-up sets, and the same with my cabaret. It's not like I will just learn a trick and say, do you know what, tomorrow night I'm going to put that in my set, because I think that can be a mistake. I think everything I try and put into my show, I 100% know how to do it, and I can always get out of it if it goes wrong. And sometimes it does go wrong, but you just try to brush it off and walk and carry on throughout. And you can sometimes make a joke of it, which is quite cool as well.
Okay, that's really, really cool. And what's your favorite trick?
My favorite trick, I think for the kids shows, I open with and I get great reactions even from parents for this. It's where I make a silk disappear, and then I show a £5 note and I bring the silk back through out a £5 note.
That's very cool. That's very cool. And what about close-up? What's your favorite trick when you do close-up?
It's the made famous by Paul Daniels. It's the cup and ball trick.
Ah, well, that's an amazing trick, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. It's very versatile, and then you can sort of obviously a lot of people have seen it. It's a ball. What you make it disappear, appears under the cup, and then you can sort of finish off with something what you wouldn't expect to come out of a cup.
That's amazing.
Really, really cool.
That's amazing. Well, you've talked about Slightly Unusual, you talked about Non-Stop Kids. Why don't you talk a little bit about Enchanted Magic? Because as well as working for Non-Stop Kids and Slightly Unusual, you do your own thing as well, don't you?
I do, yes. So Enchanted Magic shows is more or less the same. I do kid shows, I do weddings, and it's cool that I can do that. So that's obviously my own company, and I run that alongside as working for Non-Stop Kids. So yeah, I love doing. I do magic workshops. So do close up, stage shows, anything what I can possibly do for that and for you.
Brilliant stuff. So here's a question for you, circling back to the kid show side of things. What we have a lot of people watching these that are like parents that may be organizing the birthday party for their child's birthday party for the first time, and they've never organized the child's birthday party before. What piece of advice can you give a parent who's planning a child's birthday for the first time and they want it to be mega successful? Based on your years of experience going out and doing kids parties, is there some advice that you can give somebody other than booking Rich from Non-Stop Kids? Because that's a given, obviously. That's the first thing that they should do. But other than that, is there any other advice that you can give them?
Yeah, I think it is just, I would personally, a lot of parents maybe have their party at home, you know, for many reasons. But I always say best to book a venue, you know, even if it's a church hall or a community centre or something like that. So you have a, you know, you've got a venue, you can just, you turn up at the venue, and then obviously you've got an entertainment company like Non-Stop Kids and me will turn up, and they will basically run the party for you. So to that end, it's just really all you've got to do is get a birthday cake, and then I think with the food as well. I do a lot of parties and I see so much food wasted because maybe the children don't eat it or they're too excited or whatever. And my main tip is if you're preparing food for the children, just get you can go and order online. You get the boxes and you can just put a sandwich, a few snacks in, whatever, and all you got to do then is just set the table out, put them on, make a cup of tea for the parents, and then you don't have to worry about anything else because obviously a company like Non-Stop Kids will deal with everything else.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really good advice. And what's your favorite package? I mean, you've done pretty much all of them by now. There's like 30 or 40 packages in Non-Stop Kids. I don't think you've done the princess parties just yet.
No, I don't think. No, I think I'll leave that one to the girls. I think. Yeah, I don't think. You know, I really don't think anybody would like to see me dressed up as a princess unless they really want to scare the children for the rest of their life.
But what's your favourite package to do?
I love the hassle-free package. So it sort of highlights us really, so we can go, we do a comedy magic show, we play music, we do all the games, we do all the dances, we make the balloons, we give the prizes out, and it really does sort of highlight the company to show what we can actually do, you know.
Yeah.
I think I love the games as well. I mean, I love the magic, don't get me wrong. And when I first started, I thought, really, do people want to see me jumping around like an idiot doing all the games? But, you know, I think I think I might be the oldest entertainer at Non-Stop Kids now. So I think when parents...
How old are you?
I'm 46 now. Yeah.
No, you're not. No, Karen and Keith and Donna, I think, are older than you.
Oh, right, okay.
But you're coming up. You're getting up there.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a few summers. We'll just leave it at that.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. So what's on the bucket list? So what's left to do? I mean, you have, you know, there's a lot of people in the world that would be very envious of what you've achieved. You know, your hobby is your job. You get to run around performing for people. You've, you know, been incredibly busy, not just with yourself, but with us, you know, for the last 5 years. What is left on your bucket list? What do you want to achieve?
I think
wave magic wand to make it happen. What's that?
Yeah, I think I'd love to do maybe maybe a show at a theatre or something, you know, or you know, and maybe like a tour or something where I could maybe like go from one venue to another, to another, to another, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good goal. And I reckon if anybody can make it happen, you could, Rich. Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much.
No, it's really true. Now, one other question. You talked about how you first got into magic when you were 8 years old. We have a lot of parents on here that have got children, and they want their children to learn magic, or they're trying to encourage their children to learn magic. You know, we've done vlogs about this before. Magic's a really great thing for kids to learn. It, as you know as well as me, it helps build their confidence, their communication skills, dexterity, creativity. What advice would you give somebody as a parent and somebody who's done lots of workshops to children and taught magic to children, and you got involved in magic as a young age yourself? What advice would you give to a parent that's got a child that wants to learn magic?
I think there's loads of different ways that they can learn magic. They don't have to. I mean, when I started, there was nothing like DVDs or YouTube or anything like that. Now, we had to read. You had to read it from a book, or you'd buy a magic set, and the magic sets are great, you know, to start off. But I think you've got everything now. You've got DVDs, you've got YouTube. A lot of companies like us, we do a magic workshop.
Yeah.
So, you know, book one of them. So book a magic workshop if they feel that they have got, you know, the interest in it. I think that's the main thing, having the interest of learning a magic trick. And, you know, and it also, and I think when I started, I think it helped me because I got bullied as a child. So it was great because I used to learn something and I used to show the teacher, show my friends.
Yeah.
And it's great. So there's loads of stuff on YouTube. There's loads of good stuff on YouTube, but some bad stuff on YouTube, you know. But, you know, it's just determination, keep practicing. And then I think as a parent, if you say, well, set them goal. Look, you go away, you can learn this. And then, you know, you'll get something that you want, or, you know. And like I said, the main thing, it's not just about learning magic. It's just about the confidence. You might have a shy child. If you say, well, you basic magic trick, learn that. And I can remember when I first sort of learn a trick, and I think it was a card trick. I can't really remember what it was, but and it was like, oh wow, that was, and it was like real magic. And if you feel like, oh, I've even fooled myself, so you know, that's always good.
That's awesome. And who's your favorite magician?
I think I have a lot of favorite magicians. I mean, obviously, people listen to this. You've got obviously, you know, Paul Daniels. You've got Wayne Dobson. They're the Wayne, you know, the ones what everybody sort of know. But there's obviously a lot of magicians out there what maybe people don't know, but obviously maybe if you're in the magician sort of world, you will know the names. And sort of like, let's think, there's Darren Brown, he's very good. I think Mel Mellors, you know, and there's a few personal friends who are magicians I love, you know. Steve Della, you know. Craig Petty's all right as well, not too bad.
Right, it's not bad. That's awesome. That's awesome. And do you still get fooled, or do you know pretty much how everything works now?
I think I love to be fooled. I think, you know, that's still the buzz I get from magic. You know, I love to be fooled. I mean, yeah, you do sort of learn a lot of sort of concepts of magic tricks, and I think I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I think in a sense there's nothing new in magic. There's obviously reinventions of old tricks, and you know, so once you've seen maybe that, you think, oh well, it's the same as that. But I think, you know, the biggest buzz out there is, for me, is someone showing me, sit down and say, let me show you this, and you go, wow, how did you do that? Or I'd love to know how you did that. That's
cool. That's brilliant. This, you know what? I knew this would be a really great interview, and it really is. You know, you're a great guy, Rich. You're very, very talented, and you know, we're really proud of having you in Non-Stop Kids. We really are.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to be a part of the team.
Oh, you're amazing. You really are. Now, I'm going to do something right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my timer app up on my phone because we're going to do a quick fire round now. So I'm going to give you 3.5 minutes to answer as many questions as you can. Now, we've been doing this with pretty much every single entertainer, and we have a leaderboard to see who can answer the most questions. Currently at the top is Pete Mallet from Wolverhampton, who is did a really good job, but I think you can beat. So I'm going to get my questions up in front of me, which I have, and I'm going to ask you these questions, and all you have to do is just answer them as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Are you ready, Rich?
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm getting my timer up. I would be getting my timer up if my timer was working. There it is. There's my timer. Right, okay, so your time starts now. If you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
Curry.
Curry. What color is your toothbrush?
Blue.
Blue. If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
Tiger, because I could eat people.
Who's your favorite superhero and why?
Superman, because he flies.
Good choice. Who do you admire the most?
My dad.
Love it. What's your favorite summer activity?
Going to the beach.
If a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be and who would play you?
I don't know. Let's think. Bruce Willis.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. If you could be any flavor ice cream, what ice cream would you be?
Oh, mint chocolate chip.
Nice. If you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
Dubai.
Perfect. Are you a morning or a night person?
Morning.
What is the one thing that annoys you the most?
My daughter's bad habits.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Tall, amazing, and determined.
Love it. If you had somebody buy you a boat tomorrow and you had to call it something, what would you call your boat?
Enchanted.
Love it. If you could trade lives with anyone for one day, who would it be and why?
Let's think. Bruce Willis, because he's an amazing actor.
Love it. If you could have any superpower, what would you have?
To fly.
Love it. And if you could turn invisible, where would you go?
Where would it go? Your house, sneak.
Why not? Oh, why not? Okay. What's your biggest addiction?
Oh, coffee.
Love it, love it, love it. If you could live any historical figure's life, which one would you choose?
Oh, King Arthur's.
Love it. If you could eliminate one food so that no one would ever eat it again, what food would you pick to destroy?
Cheese.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Controversial there. Finish the sentence. When I dance, I look like
a monkey.
Which celebrity annoys you the most?
Oh, Victoria Beckham.
Victoria Beckham. Yeah, I could agree with that. What's your favorite TV channel?
Oh, Netflix.
Netflix. Gotta love it. If you wrote a book, what would it be called?
My Life in the Fast Lane.
Love it. And if you could create your own country, what would you call your country?
Oh, Enchanted England.
I love it. I love it. And what's your favorite Halloween costume?
Oh, it's got to be a wizard.
Okay, yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. If you could sit down and talk with somebody for an hour about anything, who would you pick to talk with?
I would love to pick Robin Williams.
Oh, well, yeah, don't disagree with you there. Absolutely. And one last question, by the way, you've done very well. If your clothes had to be one color forever, what color would you want your clothes to be?
Oh, black.
Black.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with black.
Makes me look thin.
Can't go wrong with black, can you? Right. That was amazing. I think you did really well. I'll get Luke to check on the leaderboard, but I think you did awesome. I did warn you about this beforehand, Rich. We've come to the part where I'm going to get you to do an impression. I ask everybody to do it. Most kids entertainers in Non-Stop Kids, I've discovered, are very talented, but very bad at impressions. There's a couple that stood out and did okay. A couple of people cheated. Cy cheated. He was surrounded by guitars when I did this, and he just picked up a guitar and did an impression of Aerosmith or something like that. So
right, okay, fabulous. Right, okay.
But give me an impression. What you got?
This is going to be so bad. Especially because I've got a friend who's really good at this. Okay. Let's see, what can I do? Run to the chopper!
I love it. It was funny. Who was it?
Yeah, well, Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously. But...
Oh, well, you know, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You're definitely not as bad as Kieran doing Donald Trump. That was the worst I've ever seen in my life, you know?
Brilliant.
You can't get worse than that. Perfect. Right. Rich, let's round it off by giving you the floor. One last thing, which is what one last piece of advice would you like to? We have thousands of people watching this. What one last piece of advice can you give everybody who's watching this? It doesn't have to be about entertainment or magic or anything like that. Just from you living your life, what one life lesson would you like to impart to end this interview?
I just think you've got, and I don't want to be too sort of depressing here, but I think you've got to think about, you might be, when you grow up, you might think, right, I want to do that. And a lot of people do brilliant, they pick one thing and they do it. Other people in their lives might sort of think, oh, I've done this, and I've done this, and they do different things. But I just think whatever you do in life, just remember one thing. You've only got you've only got one life. So just enjoy it as much as possible, because life is not a rehearsal. It's not like a video game. You can reset and you can go and do it again. People do make mistakes, but just learn from it and enjoy your life.
That's really good advice. Rich, thank you so much for coming onto the Entertainer Spotlight.
No problem. Glad to have me, and
appreciate it.
Hope to see everybody back soon.
Absolutely amazing. So you can check Rich out by going to Non-Stop Kids or Slightly Unusual. You can check him out online, lots of different places. Enchanted Magic on Facebook. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook. We go live 1 o'clock every single day. Rich does a lot of the lives. So make sure you check that out, 1 o'clock live on our Facebook page. But on behalf of Rich and everybody here at Non-Stop Kids, thanks very much for joining the Entertainer Spotlight, and we'll see you again. Take care.
See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.